for you, we will write a program about JavaScript. Okay, so this is to attack how to write the functions, how to use the arrays, and of course the arrays methods. Okay, using the JavaScript. Okay, let's start. So we need first to write a program using the HTML, and at the same time we call the program of your JavaScript. How to do that? So let's say we have here doc type, then we have HTML, right? And then, okay, let's type the HTML. Okay, the purpose of the head here is where we, in the future, you can use this to call the different web frameworks. Like for example, your CSS frameworks, the Bootstrap, okay, the Cloudflare, and of course your W3 CSS. Okay, we can also infuse here a title. Let's say the title is jscript coding. Okay, now we will call a program here uh, in the other side, that is your JScript, and let us check it in our console. Okay, how to do that? Let's say we have here the body. Let us put some message right here. Let's say JScript coding. Then we have here. And then always remember that if we have this program, where to put the JScript? Okay, you can use the JScript here inside the body. Okay, now for example, we need to call the program. Okay, we can use the JScript and then search, like for example, we have their index.js. Okay, so the content of this JX is we need to write a program that will store the information using the console, the browser console. It's not to store, but this is to display and to log in the information. Okay, so we need to end the script right here. Now let us check this program and save the program. Okay, save. Okay, so we will again check and write the program of index.js. Okay, the other side. All right, so if you want to write your script, okay, this the file name is what? Index.js. JS stands for what? JavaScript. So JavaScript. So the extension is JavaScript. All right, now let us start first with the reserved constant. Let's say we have here the constant. The purpose of constant is to create a fixed or static type of codes or a data. So we can use also let, but let is used to create a dynamic type of statement. So constant is a static. Okay. For example, we have here the function. The function would be what? Check equals to. Okay. Now this check function. Okay. We are using the arrow function. So the purpose of the arrow function here is to start your codes here. Okay. It is also the same using this function check, and we have a void parameter, and then we try to write the code. So this is the name of the function, and we don't have any parameters inside the function, just like this one. So this is where we use the arrow functions to create our code. Okay, now let us start. Let's say we want to log the name, our name. Okay, we can use the console.log. Okay, you can say Arnold. Okay, so this is where we print, of course, the code of check. Okay, now if we put the parameter right here, okay, we have for example the parameter of name 1, and we have here the parameter of like hello. Okay, and we use the concatenation, and then we use the spacing plus name 1. Name 1 now is part of the arguments. This is your arguments. The argument is the representations of your parameter. Okay, arguments could be a number, a string. It depends how you manage and use your parameter. So here we have the file name of index.js. Okay, so we will save this file. Okay, save, and let us check and run the program. But before that, we need first to check and revisit our program in our HTML. So here we need to call the index.js, and inside our index.js we have this jscript function. So in this js function, of course, if you call this program, this will display two what? Arguments. This is the string where we create your name 1. Now let us save this program and run the program. Okay, now if you check that here, okay, you check. All right, I will call the program file c And then we have here, well, of course, we have the Synec. And then we have the file name of, let's say, lesson 3.html. Okay, let us wait. Now, so these are jscript coding. Nothing's happened because in our program, okay, we just print the jscript coding here in the HTML inside our p elements. While the index.js is just like, creating a program, and we did not display this output in the canvas or in the browser. Instead, we will check our console, our browser console. We just log hello and of course the name. Okay, what will happen? Let us check. So we will use what? The inspect elements. Okay, so we have here the elements. We have the console. Okay, let us try if this thing will happen. Now, if I type here console, okay, that log, okay, console.log, let's say we have there, let's say we have Arnold. Oh, it will display what? Arnold. That is undefined. Let us run this code again. Okay, we have here the check function. So how to use the check function? Let us use that. Okay, let's say we have console.log, and then we have to use the check, and then we have the parameter of one parameter. Let's say Arnold. Let us check what will happen. So we have a problem right here. Okay, syntax error missing after argument. So what happened? So check why. Well, we forgot to match our open parentheses with close parentheses. Oops, sorry, close parentheses. So let us do it again. Console.log, and then the name of the function. Okay, write our name, Arnold, and then what will happen? So we have here hello Arnold. Okay, so that's the output. We need to say, well, of course, this is communicating to our console, to the browser console. Now, if we put this inside a program, all right, what will happen? Okay, again, if we run this inside a program, all right, let us check. If we run this inside a program, okay, in our lesson 3, let us call this program. If I say script again, because we have already what you call this included this in our code. Now, if you are a Java programmer, well, of course, no, in a Java programmer, just like if you have here the package of index, you can say import that, okay, let's say Java, your directory, Arnold, and then you have there what? Index, okay, something like that. So this is your package, okay, this is how you call it. The same thing with your statement right here. Now, if you call that inside your code, okay, let us modify this thing. What will happen? Let's say we have another script right here, script tags. Okay, let's say we need to print that check. Okay, check. Let's say we will print the check using the alert command. Alert, and then console. Alert that check, and then let's say Arnold. Okay, what will happen if we use that? Instead of using the console, we use the alert command here. So check Arnold. This is the parameter. So we have here the name as first parameter, and we have here the arguments of hello to greet my name. Now let us do that, and then when we run the program, okay, so this is a check program. Let us check again the spelling, the check, okay. So we have here the script inside of the body element. So when we run the program, okay, let us run this program. All right, what will happen? Let us delete this, okay. So this page says undefined. All right, let us check again. Why is it undefined? Okay, it is undefined because we're not able to return the exact parameter in this statement. Okay, let us check again our code. Okay, in our index.js. All right, this is where we fuse the statement in the console of our Google Chrome. Well, let us change this thing. We need to return the arguments, the parameters to the top of to the main program rather. So we can use what? Return, and then, well, we can use say hello, and then concatenate it plus the spacing, and then plus, let's say, well, of course, we can say here what? Let's say name1. Okay. So this is the arguments right now, and we have here the parameter. Okay, now let us save this thing. Okay, let us check again the grammar. Okay, now let us go back to our main data program right here. So here, well, of course, no, I think this is already correct. If we run the program, okay, I've explained this first. we use the alert because check is part of our function. We call the function of index.js as part of our library. And then we put Arnold as our what? As part of the parameter. And this is now part of the argument. Conversion of parameter to argument because we exactly knows that name1 will be used as a string. Okay. So when we use this thing, it will say hello and it will greet your name. So this will return what? The hello, the static arguments of hello, and of course dynamic arguments of name1. Okay, this is what your parameter. Let's just go back. So when we save the program, okay, run the program. All right, let us. Okay, so this is what this page says. This page says hello Arnold. Okay, that's it. So this is how we write our JavaScript and of course integrate our JavaScript in our program. This is we separate our index.js to or what index.js in another side of the file. So this is your what index.js. Be sure that well of course you store this in one folder. Again, if you want to store this in another folder, you can use the pathing. Okay, so this is now your code. We want to create a function. Okay, functions that will store information inside the data. So that's very easy because in JavaScript, well of course all you have to do is to call the methods of the array. Okay, and this method is your what? Is your push. The reverse for the push is of course to remove the element at the end that is pop. Okay, that's all for now. Now, in your if you're using the Java, well of course you will be using the array list. Okay, array list. This is where you can add, remove, of course, and modify the elements inside your array. So you need to use the array list. Okay, now, so we need to use the array. Well, of course, in the previous session, we discussed what is an array. At the same time, you can store the information in the array using different types of data, number strings. Okay, so you can use the different list inside the array. Okay, one of the methods is to use the push command. Now, we have here the program for the script, and of course, we have also here the separated index.js file. So let us edit this thing. But before that, let us use first the example, how to push the data. Okay, for example, I have here the declaration of the variable. Let's say var, and then let's say array1. Okay, this is where this is void right now. This is void. So when we push the element inside the data, it's very simple. Okay, what will happen? Let's say we need to what? Push that. So we can use array1 and then call the method. This is your what? That object notation. The object notation or that object notation will call the methods of your array. Call or invoke the methods of your array. Methods are just like your pre-built-in program or functions. So we need to call it using the push command. Say for example, if we need to push 1, that's the value. Okay, when we check that code again, okay, let us use this program. Use this statement. We can use a document that, let's say, the doom to display it at the top so that you can see the output. Let's say we have here array1. This is where the ID of the elements, then inner HTML. So the inner HTML is like we have the array1. This is the output. At the top of the body, well, of course, we have here, let's say, h2, and then id equals to ar1. Okay, let us provide here ar1, and we put the style and the color. Okay, so let's say background. The purpose of this is so that we can provide a strong emphasis to our output. Background, let's say blue or red, and then color of the font is, let's say, white. Okay, don't worry with these codes. Okay, this is your inline statement for the cascading styles, and we have that separate discussion. Okay, so let us close page 2. Now, so the point here is to call the push, and then we store the value of 1 inside the array, and then we print the value of the array. Now, when we run the program, this has nothing to do with your program in index.js. This is our program upfront inside the array. So we have to save the program, and then we run the program here. Okay, so we have this JavaScript coding. We have here the number of 1. If we change the number of 1 to 2, 3, something like that, when we save the program, run the program here, so we have here the value of 3453. What if we add another what item? Okay, what will happen? So it's very easy. We need to re1 dot push, and then we need to change it to 345. And we have in after these two push, well, of course, let us okay, let us just put that statement when we run the program. Okay, so we have here 345. The same thing happens because let us check that. Okay, so we have array1 and we have here array1. Okay, let us change these two. Let's say 4, and then we save the program. Then we run the program. So we have now the 334 and 345. So we have two elements inside the array. So in your array you have here the index, this part of the location, that's 0, and then we have 1. Let's make this a bit simple. Let's say we have 10 and we have 2. Okay. At the same time, let us add more here at the bottom. So we change these two. Instead of numbers, we can use the string. For example, the name is Arnold. And then when we save this program, we run that. So this is the combination now of your what? Array list of elements. So 10, 2, and Arnold. Okay. So that's how you use the what? The push command. Now, we are going now to write our own push command. Okay. Using our index.js. From here, this will serve as our mini dependency or library, and we call it inside our program in this uh, in this file. Okay, let's write our push command. Okay, our own native push command to push only one data. Okay, so let us use our index.js. All right, how to do that? Okay, so this is a separate program right now. So let's say we have here constant. Okay, we can use also function. Okay, but here, well, this is a bit sexy compared to the statement function my func, right? So I'll be using this style constant. And then we have here, let's say push one. Okay, and then we need to create a parameter right here. Okay, the parameter would be, let's say x. This will return. This is a parameter of any data type. So right now we'll use this as a number to push the this statement. Okay. Now, what will happen right there? We need to create our own version of what? No, I'm sorry. Version of, taking of Java. Version of variable here. Let's say we have here data bank. Okay. So this is void. Okay, what will happen right here? So this is your array. And at the same time, we will also invoke our own version of push command. It's like we are reinforcing this statement so that we can create our own what functions. So the name of the function is push, and at the same time we need to push a value. And of course, we need to push the value in data bank and we return the data bank in the main program. Is that clear? So let's continue. So we have here, let's say, data bank, and then we need to use what? Push, and we push the value of x. And right after that, we display what the value of your data bank. Okay, that's it. It's simple. This is a very simple type of function, and at the same time, it can give you an eye opener in the future. Okay, how to create a function. Okay, if you want to write this in a very simple statement function, well, of course we have to push one using. Okay, the same thing will happen. So let's say we have var, or let's say let, or you can use the const here, static or var. Okay, var, then data bank. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, data bank equals to. Okay, sorry. So we have here, and then data bank that push. So this is where we push the value, and then what happened? Of course, then return. Okay, data. Sorry, data bank. Okay, just a bit tired. Okay, that's it. So this statement is equivalent to the statement. All right, let us erase this thing. Okay, let us save this program. And we have the push one, and we need to push any value inside the program. So let us start first to run this code using our console. Okay, so we need to check our console. Okay, now when we run the program, okay, save this thing. Okay, when we run this program, okay, let us check if there is a value stored in the code. When we run this program, okay, let's say I will run this program, and then the function here is what? We don't have yet here the code, but we have already made the code right here, the push one. So when we run here, okay, let us check that. Okay, so there's something wrong in the program. Let us check it again. Okay, so what happened to the code? All right, I will check it. So we have here, okay, this is it. So we have, we were not able to check the codes. Okay, so push one, then you have to run it, then lesson 3, you have to save it. Okay, okay, now we have the code. So we push 10 and 2 and nothing's happened. But when we try to check our elements right here, let us wait for the inspect element. Okay, this is the console. Now let us check for the push one. Let's say we have here the variable. Let us say let, okay, data 1, data 3, okay, data 10, because we have lots of variable right here, variable used in this console. So let data 10 equals to, let's say, push 1. That was this was our code, and then we need to push, let's say, for example, 100. It will say undefined. We need to say, well, of course, no, this is working. And then we need to print a value of 10. So where is that push? Okay, the push is right here. Okay, it's right here. So we have here the push. Okay, and then we have here the parameter of x that will represent any data. And of course, it will what? Push the data to the container. This is our list or array. All right, let's go back right here. So nothing's, this has nothing something to do with the code for now. We are concentrating here, okay, to our index.js. So when we print this thing, okay, print, okay, let's say console.log, and then x data 10, okay. So we have here the 100 as our what? Array. So the offset is 0, the length is 1, and of course. Now if we again push another value, this will be replaced. Why? Because, you know, um, the purpose of this function is to push only one value at a time. So let's say we push hello as a string, and then when we print this console.log, okay, again, we print the value of data 11, what will happen? So we have here the hello world. So hello world now overrides the value of 0. So this is how you write your own mini prototype of push command using the arrays. Okay, so please don't forget to subscribe, and of course share and like the channel. Thank you so much.